Today on MTG Unpacked, we're continuing our look at the Challenger decks for 2019. This time it is the Mono Red Lightning Aggro. And as you can see, there's a goblin on here, which means it's naturally my favorite of the four decks. So let's take a look here. Strike hard and fast with 1 and 2 mana creatures to rapidly burn down your opponent's life total, then fire off a barrage of direct damage to finish them off. You get 60 card deck, 15 card sideboard, deck box, and a spin down life counter. Okay, let's move these guys aside. And the deal with the Challenger decks, going for about 30 bucks each. I picked up all 4 from my LGS for 100, that's US dollars. And these are supposed to be competitive at your local Friday Night Magic. So we shall see how true that is momentarily. We get a nice spin down here. This looks like an M19 spin down. And we have a divider to separate out the sideboard and the main deck. Alright, so let's pop that over there. Nice convenient box as well. What is this thing? Flyer for the Challenger decks. Yes, you'll want to test it out at your local Friday Night Magic. Very cool. At your local game store, the best place to play this stuff. Okay, so let's dig into the main deck, and I already see something I like. I'm wondering how close this is to the deck I've been running. Actually, yeah, that could be very similar indeed. It's a pretty strong deck. Okay, so we have a whole stack of mountains. Let's count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. So it's mono red. No exotic lands there. Okay, so the main deck, we have a mythic Rekindling Phoenix. So this guy is from Rivals of Ixalan. I've been playing with him a long time. Very cool in my various iterations of mono red. He's a 4/3 for 4 mana with flying. When he dies, create a 0/1 red elemental creature token with, at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice this creature and return target card named Rekindling Phoenix from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste until end of turn. Okay, so we only get 1 of those. I would upgrade that, probably add another 2. A playset's probably unnecessary. You might want to cut them entirely. There are some other options. We'll talk about those in a moment. Next up we have Experimental Frenzy, enchantment for 4. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may play the top card of your library. You can't play cards from your hand. And for 3 in red, destroy Experimental Frenzy. So this is one sort of seat of the pants play experience. You'll want to do that when you've got a mostly empty hand, maybe only 1 or 2 cards left, or nothing. So a late game finisher type thing. I haven't had a lot of luck with this. Your mileage may vary. Leave a note in the comments if you've figured out how to make that work for you. So we get 2 of those. Okay, so that's probably about right. Next we have Banefire, sorcery for X and a red. It deals X damage to any target. If X is 5 or more, this spell can't be countered and the damage can't be prevented. So that is excellent for getting rid of dirty big green creatures, for instance, or huge flyers. There's a lot of threats this works nicely against. Okay, and incidentally, a lot of these cards are rotating out later this year when the standard format rotates. So M19, that's one of them. Next we have a Goblin Chain Whirler, creature Goblin Warrior, 3/3 for 3 mana. We love the goblins here at MTG Unpacked. I'll be doing a whole series of Goblin videos at some point. I've got the Goblin album ready to go, and we just need to start cracking packs for that to try and build up the collection. So enough about that. So this guy is a creature Goblin Warrior, 3/3 for 3 mana with first strike. When he enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each opponent and each creature and planeswalker they control. So if your opponent has a lot of little token creatures or 1/1s or 2/1s, this will take care of those rather nicely. So let's see how many they gave us. We got 2, 3. Oh wow, A complete play set. That is perfect. That's what I'm running in my deck. Next we have a Runaway Steamkin. Creature elemental 1/1 for 2 mana. Whenever you cast a red spell, if Runaway Steamkin has fewer than 3+1/+1 counters on it, put a +1/+1 counter on Runaway Steamkin. And remove 3+1/+1 counters from it and add 3 red to your mana pool. That's pretty cool, so you can ramp up things pretty nicely throughout the game. Extra mana there, so we get 4 of the... Yeah, we get 4 of those. Okay, that's pretty cool. You'll notice mono red is all about a lot of 4-ofs. So you want a lot of consistency, a lot of small 1 mana or 2 mana creatures. Fanatical Firebrand Creature Goblin Pirate. 1/1 for a single red, has haste. Taps, sack him and deals 1 damage to target creature or player. Might not seem like much, but this has won me games when the opponent has had 1 life left. I've been able to take care of that rather quickly. So 4 of those, as you would hope. Shock, instant for a single red, deals 2 damage to any target. And of course, they're going to have 4 of those as well. Lava Coil, this is another good one. We saw this in the previous deck in yesterday's video. Sorcery for 2, deals 4 damage to target creature. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. Just 2 of those, okay. I wonder if we get any extras in the sideboard. Lightning Strike, Lightning Strike, Lightning Strike. Instant for 2, it deals 3 damage to any target. Another handy one. You can either zap your opponent or zap some of their creatures. Works rather nicely. Next we have Wizard's Lightning. Instant for 3. It costs 2 less to cast if you control a wizard. And I don't think... we haven't seen any wizards yet, so maybe there's some coming. It deals 3 damage to any target. So another zappy spell that comes in rather handy. Especially if you've got a wizard or 2 on deck. And here we go. Here's a wizard. Gitu Lava Runner. Creature human wizard 1/2 for a single red. As long as there are 2 or more instant and or sorcery cards in your graveyard, Gitu Lava Runner gets +1/+0 and has haste. So I would hope we would get 4 of those. And I am not disappointed. That's one from Dominaria actually, so that'll be rotating out. And of course this bloke, Viashino Pyromancer, creature Viashino Wizard. That's what we're looking for. 2/1 for 2 mana. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to target player or planeswalker. And let me guess, yes, 4. So you might notice that red decks tend to be fairly simple. A lot of 4-ofs. Okay, a lot of complete play sets. Let's see what we got in the sideboard, and then I'll have a few little tips for things I might change out here. Actually, not too much. This is a pretty decent deck as far as mono red. Okay, next we have Fight with Fire. Sorcery for 3 has kicker 5 and a red, so you can pay that extra as you cast a spell. Deals 5 damage to target creature. If the spell is kicked, it deals 10 damage. Divided as you choose among any number of targets instead. Those targets can include players and planeswalkers. So you are going to want to need this in War of the Spark. That is going to do a lot of nice work there for you. Excuse me. So we got 4 of those with Jaya there. Lightning Mare, creature elemental horse, 3/1 for 2 red. It can't be countered and can't be blocked by blue creatures. Okay. It's interesting. Pay 1 and a red. It gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Alright. So if you're up against somebody playing blue, you'd want to swap these guys in. Oh, another horse. Diamond Mare, artifact creature horse, 1/3 for 2 mana. As Diamond Mare enters battlefield, choose a colour. Whenever you cast a spell of the chosen colour, you gain 1 life. Let me think. That would be red. So you can get some life gain here. If someone, probably if you're playing against another red deck, you'd want to swap this guy in. Fiery Cannonade, instant for 3. It deals 2 damage to each non-pirate creature. If you're up against pirates, you are out of luck, alas. And we get 3 of those. Okay. So this actually looks like a pretty decent deck. Fairly competitive, fairly close to what I've been running for a while now. I would make a few changes. I would add Skewer the Critics. That's a good one. I would also add Light Up the Stage and Risk Factor. Risk Factor is a particular favorite of mine. So it's up to you what you swap out. You maybe want to swap out one of these guys. Maybe a Wizard's Lightning. You want to keep your Lightning Strikes and your Shocks because those do a lot of work. Maybe swap out a Firebrand or 2. Steamkin. Maybe 1 or 2 of those you'd swap out. I'd keep the Chain Whirlers. I might even add in, what's the other guy? Can't think of him. He deals damage when you cast instants and sorceries. And also the Experimental Frenzy. Not too sure about that. I would probably put that in the sideboard, so maybe swap a few things out there. So leave a note in the comments what you think of this deck, what you would do to change it up, make it even more competitive. It's actually a pretty good budget deck and it does a lot of good work in Standard. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button for more Magic the Gathering unboxings, and be sure to tap the notification bell to be notified as soon as new videos are released. And if you want to check out the other Challenger decks, including the ones from 2018, I'll pop a link up in the corner so you can check out the playlist for that. Thanks for watching and have a great day.